Closing is always easy when you're in Cardone U. We role play with Grant Cardone's team. They know just what to do. They're always there to support us. We couldn't ask for more. On our way in the right direction, we found what we're looking for. In FLC, in FLC. Closing is better with appointment setters. You'd better believe we're not a team but a family. We work together in harmony. We are devoted, on that you can quote me, in FLC.
Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of the FLC Hangout where your freedom lifestyle begins. Today we have Mona in the house. I am so excited. Hello, thank you so much for being here. And today what we're going to be talking about or touching upon is making mistakes in business, playing full out in business and not letting kind of maybe your own thoughts or the thoughts of other people or anything stop you from getting what you want, because we all deserve to have the life we want and we are here to help you with that. So before we get started, make sure you follow us on Instagram. They're on the screens now. And with Misty, without further ado, over to you.
Yes. Hi, Mona. We're so
Hi, Misty.
We're so excited to have you here. It's so awesome. Thank you for joining us. So Mona, we know you are absolutely incredible, and we're so excited to dive deep into your brain and pick it and find out what's in there. So, you having all the knowledge you have, how do mistakes in business impact your ability to play full out and achieve your goals?
Well, there's a lot of stages that I went through in my learning and education, but I can tell you one thing: what you think that you are is not what other people think. So when I had to start things all over again in life, and I thought I was incredible. And then I went to a lot of training for leadership, learning things, make sure your business is going well, because leadership, business, kind of, they're the same principles, kind of, in my mind. Yep. So when I was sent for Dale Carnegie training, I'm not sure that you are aware, but he is the best person. His training is very expensive. The state sent me to it from work, and that just started it all. I realized that I wasn't doing good. I needed help. Something that I was doing wasn't working, and I'm plateaued at work. I cannot go anywhere. Something's not right. And that training did it for me. I went and I realized all the mistakes I was making. I was being not happy. I wouldn't be smiling, or I think I'm really good. And then people at the training told me, "You got issues, lady." I'm like, yes, I know. I got words. Yeah. And that just opened my eyes. There's something. I got the book knowledge, but in order to translate that into something tangible, it's a whole different game. It's like, whoa. Because a lot of business things, I know what Chabaria might say, is kind of, it's not the same as the leadership type of thing that I'm used to. And I'm like, wow, business is different, a little different.
Yeah.
But then it all works out.
It does, yeah. I feel like that very last sentence is so true, because, and everything you said, but it's, everything will work out. And even if you're not on the right path right now, by playing full out and by keeping on going when, like, yourself maybe or others tell you to stop is so important, and you will get there eventually. And just before, I do have questions also, but I mean, I know, but just for anyone watching, can you give like a little brief overview of your journey in business and in life?
Well, my life journey started in 1962, best year of all.
I hear that was a good day.
And the 17th of that year for December was the best. That's when I was born.
That was good. Yeah.
Yeah, so my journey started at a very young age. I learned a lot of the bad things. Not bad, but my sister had passed away when my mom was 7 months pregnant with me, and it was a turmoil. When I was born, it's like I wasn't getting the love that an infant would want. She was still grieving, my mom. So I latched on to my dad. I would stop crying when he comes home, and that's how it started. I want to be just like him, I said. And I said, okay, if I'm going to be like that, I'm going to have to tell mom, sorry, I'm not going to be a housewife. I am not going to sit home, raise kids, feed my husband. I mean, all that is good, but I had a career on my mind. And it worked out really good. I was like, got my engineering degree, came to United States. My dad had passed away by then when I was 20. So it all worked to where I come to United States, 37 years. My aim, my goal was fulfilled. I had an engineering degree. I had a master's in business. I had a really good leadership job. And I was in heaven until one day heaven says, you need to learn more. I'm like, and that's when I had an automobile accident, and my brain started again, basically. I was like, nothing, clean slate. I was like, oh, this is going to be difficult, but I made it happen. A year later, I went back to work. I could talk, I could walk, I was literally a baby. And it was hard because I'm 37 years old, and it's like, oh, this is not going to be looking good when I ask for help for the simplest thing, like, what is this called? Or is that a pen? But I chose to ask for help. And that was the biggest turn in my life, because I had to tell myself, you need help. Even in the elementary level, because nothing was there. So it worked out to the point where my gumption was there. I wanted to do something more than be in a hospital all my life, because I was in a brain injury unit for 1 year when they taught me things. And that's when I realized there's more to it than just education that you see in textbooks. Okay, yes, I have a master's, I have an engineering degree, but really, when I started everything again, I realized there's another component in life that I was missing. And it's more like the brain growth as far as how to be a good person, how to get what you want from life, or it's like smile, ask for help, just the minor little things that we are not taught to ask. But I had to ask. There was no way, no shame. And one step at a time, I'm here. Actually, no, I'm not here yet. I was at work, and right around 5 years after my brain injury is when the real education started for my business, my mindset. I knew what was happening. I knew I wanted to do something, but I made so many mistakes, and I was learning everything on my own with the help of books, like, and training, like Dale Carnegie or one of my effective people, Maxwell and Stephen Covey. I mean, my best players, and I am where I am. And if you I think it was 3 years ago, I started to join Chibaria with the freedom lifestyle, and my mindset wasn't there. I had a panic attack so bad that I just had to step away. And out of nowhere, I got this invite for a scholarship from Chibaria. And I'm like, oh, I guess she won't remember me. And she won't remember that I enrolled. And I was like feeling bad, but no, she's been up charm. And things went upwards from them. And now I'm excited. My life can go on. I'm not at the bottom of the barrel anymore.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can teach what I learned, and it's amazing. The personality issues that we do not have, we are not taught that. And especially one thing, the power of positive no.
Mm.
That is one of the things I learned. And I mean, it just opened my eyes. It was one of the courses that I taught also. It's amazing. If you learn to say no constructively, it will be better instead of having to say no, no, no. And your kids are like, we're just going to hear no.
Yeah.
There's no constructive criticism, so to say.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that. And there are parts in there that I didn't know yet as well. So I'm sure you really inspired me, and I'm sure Misty, I'm going to speak for you too, and anyone watching. And there were so many things that I wanted to touch upon too, and I'd be really interested in your guys' view on this too, is that it is okay, like you said, to ask for help. We'd be crazy to think that you could start a whole business yourself with no help at all. Like Seb says, there is no silly questions. And once you're in FLC, I'm going to talk about FLC because that's obviously where we are. Once you're in FLC, you can ask questions for life. And there are no such thing as silly questions, because we know that it's hard. Like it is
hard.
It is hard, but that's okay. All things that are worth it are going to be hard at first. And like you said, having that positive attitude too is going to take you such a long way. I'm telling you.
Yes, it does.
Every single time. Yeah, every single time you make a mistake, and you will make mistakes, and you need to make mistakes because you're only
in order to grow.
Exactly. You're only going to make mistakes once you start pushing yourself to the limit of where you are going to start making mistakes. And that is what playing full out is. And that's what you need to do. And I feel like, how am I going to try and word this? It is so okay to make mistakes. It's the attitude you have that makes it good or bad. Making the mistake is either good or bad. It's the attitude that you put on to make a mistake that will determine how you go forward. So what do you guys think?
I want to say, Mona, I am sorry you went through all of that, but at the same time, I'm so grateful that you are here and the lessons you have learned and the things that you have been through, your perseverance, your positivity, you staying solution focused, and like, you know what, I may have to do some of this on my own, but when time is right, I'm going to ask for that help. I'm going to get that help. I'm going to keep going. And to see how successful you are now and where you're at is absolutely phenomenal, and it's inspirational. I love that. And I thank you so much for sharing that with us. There's so much to unpack in just what you said right there that it would take me a million years. But I love the fact that you, like Josie has said, staying positive, and because that takes you so far. And then asking for help, like Chibaria says. Chibaria has always repeated to all of us the African proverb: if you want to go fast, you go alone.
Right.
If you want to go far, you go together. And the only way to go together is to ask for that help, right?
Right.
And then And then, staying solution focused, and making mistakes in any part of your life, whether it be business or personal life.
Mhm.
Those mistakes are so important. And like Josie has talked about, it's perception. It's how you're going to handle those, how you're going to respond to them, look at them. That's going to make the difference. And I just think that is so powerful. And that I thank you so much for sharing all of that. I'm kind of mind blown right now. So it's just.
Absolutely. And sorry, Mona, go ahead. Were you?
No, I was just
Yeah, agreeing. I agree too.
agreeing.
Yeah. It's so important. And I feel like, so we were doing training as a team this week or last week. And in that training, we learned that he used an example, like when you're a baby and you're first learning to speak, walk, like you failed. You have failed so many times, probably more than you've actually succeeded, dare I say. But I feel like people put such a negative annotation, well, negative thing on failing. But as we say, I don't know who actually said it, but fail fast, fail forward, fail often. And I want to ask you, Mona, when you were first like learning all these new things and first going to start your own business, which is so incredible, by the way, you're writing your own books, you're helping other people, you're teaching other people, and you're inspiring loads of people. So good. But when you were first going for this journey, were you scared of failing? Or were you like, nah, I'm going for it?
No, actually, I was petrified. I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I know I'm going to do it. So I had stuff written down everywhere. Things that I want to say, I want to teach, I want to make an impact on. And that's how I said, it's going to happen. I don't know when, but I'm doing it. I'm doing something, making it happen, so to say. And it worked.
Yeah.
I want everybody to look. You guys have got to follow Mona. Find her on every platform you can. Follow her, get her books, learn from her. She's absolutely phenomenal. She's one that we want to keep an eye out on, because she's not only great now, but what she's going to accomplish in the future is so astronomically mind-blowing. You've got to be there. You've got to be able to be there and watch her and be on board with that. And so Mona, I have another quick question for you. So what are some key skills and mindsets that people that are starting a business can cultivate in order to play full out and learn from their mistakes?
The first thing I believe that they need to know is you got to take ownership of yourself. You cannot start something saying, they made me do it. It's not my fault. That's one of the biggest mindsets that you need to have. You need to
acknowledge
be on and know what you bring into the table. And that's always been one of the biggest thing I've learned was it doesn't hurt to smile. I was so in a negative place because of my health. I wasn't know. And next thing you know, I just smiled. And that made a huge difference. It built up my positivity. And even though I wasn't able to function the way I would like to, that smile brought me help. It's like, okay, I know I'm telling you a dumb question, but I need help. Can you help? And that was one of the biggest things. And I tell you, stress has always been my pet peeve because people get in their head and they are so stressed, but they don't realize the one thing that they need to do. There's like two different kinds of stresses, internal and external. Now people spend time on stresses that don't involve you. You have no control over. You can't change anything. Why are you going to stress out over what the other people are saying or what they're doing? Let it go.
Yeah. Yeah, I
And
like
one
to
of
say
my best thing, Misty, I gotta cut you off before I forget. One of the best thing I have here, a thing I developed, I call it decluttering of your mind. And it by far has been phenomenal. I mean, people, my daughter, my godsons, I mean, everybody like, okay, come on, let's declutter this mind, get like having a garden, taking your weeds out, or a computer screen. You have all these things you need to take some things off. And there's a method to it. You need to think, you got to envision what's really going on here.
Yeah. I like to always tell people that, well, my mom always told me, she always said, let go, let God. And I never understood what that meant. I never understood. I'm like, I understand the words. I know what the words mean. But when she was saying it at the time she was saying it, it's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And what she had, I had to have a friend of mine actually explain to me. It's when you're so stressed out, you have to stop and think, is this me stressing about this? Is it fixing the problem? Is it helping at all? No, it's not. There's nothing I can physically do right now to change the problem. Okay, let it go. Let it go and trust the fact that when the time is right for you to make a move and fix that problem, you're going to know exactly what to do.
Yep, exactly.
It's just right now at this moment may not be that time, but when the time is right, you're going to know. So let it go.
Let it
God
go.
handle it. Yep.
Do what you need to do at the moment. Don't worry about the past. Don't think about the future. Live for today and make it happen. You know where you want to go. So why think about it? Do it.
Yeah. Only worry about what you can control, not what you can't. You can't control 5 minutes from now. You can't control tomorrow. You can't control 10 years from now. You can't control 5 seconds, ago. You can't control yesterday. Let those things go. They're not in your present moment. So, and you have to remember the present moment, the person you are right now and the things you're doing right now, in a way you are controlling the future because that makes up who you will be in the future.
Who will be,
But only control what you have now in this moment. So
in
I think
this
that's
moment.
Thank you, Mona, for sharing that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That is so true. And there's 2 things that you said that I really liked. How many? 2. Firstly is you said, I know I want to do this. I don't know how I'm going to get there, but I know I want it. I love that. It is impossible to know exactly how you're going to become successful because you're going to start. I say this, I've said this a few times, maybe in a different way, but the only real way to know what to do next or know what you need to do or need to learn is by starting. And you can set up a whole plan from A to Z, a whole plan day by day for 10 years, and it will not go like that. I'm just going to break it to you right now. It will not go like that.
It will not go like that.
No, absolutely. So I love that you said that. And I also love that you talked about kind of blaming other people in certain situations, because another part of the training we've done recently in FLC is taking responsibility for everything. And that means not only taking responsibility for when you make mistakes or fail, but also in that you get to take responsibility for your successes too. So it's not a bad thing, but the moment that you take responsibility for everything happening in your life, either like internally or externally, take responsibility for everything, it's the moment that you can actually control a lot more what is going on. You can't control everything, obviously, but if you're taking responsibility, you have more control. is what I was trying to say. So yeah, I love that you said that. And I also wanted to ask you, because I feel like you'd have something good to say on this, is how can people in businesses kind of leverage their mistakes or lessons learned to grow and expand and do even better?
Well, first off, you need to take ownership of the situation. Giving you a little example, when I was like 8 years old, I knew what I wanted for my life. And I had a really bad battle because I'm from India. Women are subservient. They don't go to engineering schools. They don't run the household. They are in the background. And I wasn't going to do that. So my dad, I'm going to be just like you, and I don't care. I'm not listening to my mother. I am not going to. So I put away my dance shoes and my kitchen equipments and got a T-square, and then I'm in engineering. And it was, I knew I wanted engineering degree. I knew I wanted a master's, and I wanted it for free. Got it. And after that, I was going to marry somebody and take care of his 2 kids and be the head of the household. And that's exactly what I did. And I was like, okay. So if you really put your mindset, you really know what you want. I didn't think about it every day. I just knew if I want to be there, mathematics has to be my friend. I need to learn certain skills, or I'm going to the marriage room and getting married to some guy.
No.
Yeah, not happening.
Oh, I love that.
So that's, honestly, that started my whole life. And that's when my mindset came to be, that you need to love yourself. You need to own your mistakes, or else somebody will take charge. You're in the passenger seat and you won't like what comes out of it. So
Definitely. True.
Yeah.
That's how I
wanted to bring up points, kind of backtracking a little bit when you guys were talking about criminally. Now I forgot it. It's Misty time.
Misty time.
When you guys were talking just before Jesse asked that question, you guys were talking about not knowing, controlling everything and not knowing how to do something. Shibarya always said, Master Sri Krishna always says, if you don't know how to do something, who cares? Start it and figure it out along the way, right?
Exactly.
Shibarya says the same thing. However, she also says, if you don't know how to do something, like you say, okay, like a lot of our students, they don't have their own business, but they want to start one and they have no idea what they want to do, no idea how to start it. Shibarya says, okay, let's reverse engineer it. What's the outcome you want? Yep. What is the success you're wanting from this? Okay, so let's figure out what are the steps that you need in order to take to get to that success. So let's reverse engineer that success and find out, and then too, when you're doing that, you're going to come up with a lot of problems. And that's where the FLC is fantastic, because you have a worldwide family that'll jump in there and they're either at the same place or they've just gone through it or they're about to go through it. So you have this worldwide family that's going through and help support you and can answer questions and everything and help kind of minimize the mistakes. And I love that. Right. And so if you don't know how to do something, guys, reverse engineer. Start at the end result. What is the end result you want? And work your way back through that. If you don't know how to do something, so what? Start it anyway. Ask questions, ask for help, figure it out along the way. That's what we're here for, right?
Yeah.
Back to you guys.
When you started walking and you fell, you didn't say, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. Forget it. Walking's not fun.
True. It's so true.
So you gotta fall, you gotta pick up, you move forward. That's all that is.
as a kid, like anything you wanted, you had your mindset on, and no one could tell you no. You wanted
Mm-hmm.
those sweets from the store, your mum could not tell you no. You
No.
pushed and you pushed and you pushed and you pushed until you got the sweets. And I feel like we lose that as we grow up, right? Like we fail a couple times at something and we're like, that's not for me, not for me. But
Not for me, no.
yeah, you forget that you're designed from the get-go to go after what you want. So I love that. And I wanted to ask, actually, this is a question for both of you, because I feel like both of you can relate to this, and I'm sure everyone else, is what role does risk playing and taking risks play in going full out? And is there a difference? Is there such thing as like taking too much risk, or do you sometimes need to take that risk to play full out, or what do you think? Open mic.
Openness. Okay. Well, let me tell you how I think about that is. What's the question again? Just that quick, it left my mind.
No worries. So what role does like risk playing play?
Oh, risk, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I always have my little risk management mindset sometimes. I know what level of risk I am willing to take. If I fall, okay, I can handle this, my drawback, because I can bounce out of it. And that's the way it was going on, where risk is there. I needed to know how much I am going to say I can risk. Like you buy a lottery or something, say, okay, I have $10 that I can buy. If I lose it, no big deal. Something similar to that. The risk is there. How much are you going to gamble? That's the word I was looking for.
Gamble.
To make it happen.
Yeah.
But if we go over and above what your mindset is, everybody has that. Okay, this is the limit. I will not do anything worse. Or, I can't lose but $10,000. I can't lose 100,000. I mean, just a metaphor, but that's the way I feel.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. I think it depends on the perception of like what type of risk are you taking? Because yes, you absolutely, no matter what you're doing in life, you have to take risk.
You got to take
Especially
it.
if you expect to grow and become better and stronger and become successful, right? There has to be some kind of risk. But I think it depends on the perception of risk. What kind of risk is worth putting yourself through? Worth taking in order to get to your success. Now, in FLC, we always say do whatever good it takes, because there are some risks we're not willing to take. And I think that's important to know about yourself. You need to know, what type of risk is this? How big of a risk is this? Am I not only financially ready for that risk? Am I mentally, like you said, your mindset? Am I at that position where I'm ready to take this risk? If it's getting outside your comfort zone and expanding that comfort zone, go for it.
Yep.
But it depends on, you need to really evaluate that risk and see how big of a risk and what kind of risk it is, what kind of category that's in. But yeah, I think that you need to take some risks, because you can't stay stagnant and grow. You can't stay stagnant. That's like when, people say, okay, you need to save all this money in the bank. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But you have these people that they put the money in the bank and it doesn't grow. It just sits there.
Yeah.
So what happens? You're just you're letting your money sit there. It's dead money. It's not growing. It's not moving.
Not going.
It's not doing anything for you. It's just sitting there. So when you let it go out and play with other money and bring back friends, that's a risk. But the friends it's bringing back, it's growing. It's, there's more and more friends coming in. You can have more money, do more. So it's just check out your risks, weigh it all out. You have to take some kind of risk. And when you're going to play full out, but in a, I don't want to say way, but play full out in a way that you can handle the risk that's coming. If that
right.
makes sense.
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I feel
well put.
yeah, very well put.
Mm.
There is a difference between going like playing full out and going for failure, is what Grant Cardone says, right? Go for failure and taking risk. But I really do feel like it is a very much risk reward thing. You have to, is there more reward than risk? And even though sometimes, let's say you invest in yourself £10,000 and that might be the last £10,000 you have, give or take, but will that, taking that risk, because that is risky, right? It's the last 10,000 you have and you're spending it all. Are you confident that that will in turn have more reward? You'll probably make 10 times that back from investing in yourself. So we're not saying go out and just fail, like do all this like crazy stuff. Don't go crazy, but be crazy enough to know that you will succeed and take risks and take action to get yourself there. And even if it's not, I don't know if this is going to make much sense out loud, but it makes sense in my head. Okay, so sometimes it's not taking the action to get to your final goal. So when you're thinking, will this get me to my goal? Sometimes you can't only think of your goal. You have to think, will this get me one step closer? Will it get me
closer to
my goal? And that's also very important. So yeah, I just want to put that out there too.
That is very important.
Yeah.
And that's like a lot of things that we're talking about. I feel like you teach children or any age, if they learn these things earlier in life and they grow with it, they won't fumble as bad. It'll be like second nature. No biggie, I can do it.
Yeah.
But a lot of times we aren't taught that. We aren't taught to, honestly, nothing. I mean, we are, but not about the things that we're talking about. It's like really not taught.
That's the thing.
Well, I have a question, kind of the other side of that. How does a company know or a business know that they're playing too conservatively and worried about making mistakes? So what would you think about that one?
I feel like
Go ahead.
just taking this question as my own for a second. No, I feel like if you're playing too conservative. What's the word? Conservative. What's the one? I just forgot the word. How am I going to try and say this? You'll know because you won't feel nervous or you won't feel like a little bit scared. If you feel a little bit scared and a little bit doubtful, then you know that you're playing big and you're going full out and you're getting outside your comfort zone. If you just feel comfortable the whole time, you're being too conservative.
Yeah, I was going to say that too. If you're too scared to make mistakes and to grow from that, and then you know you're too conservative. You need to play outside that. And
you need
push
to get outside the box. Get outside the box.
Pull that freaking box up. Nobody wants to do that.
Nobody wants a box.
Yeah.
I want a square or a triangle or anything.
Well, exactly. If you guys, the viewers, are taking anything from this podcast, is blow the box or the square or the circle or the triangle up.
Yeah.
That's what you will.
We're not going to let anything bind us. No, we're going for it.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a really quick question before we wrap up here. Okay, you guys ever watch that movie, the original movie of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory?
Oh yes.
We're at the end. They're Charlie and his grandpa and Willy
Willy Wonka.
and the Wonka man is in the elevator. And,
Oh yeah.
and the elevator goes up and out of the building.
Yeah.
And Grandpa and Charlie are all worried and, oh my God, what's happening? What's going on? And then they're mind blown because this elevator has completely shot out through the top of the building. And they're up there flying and they're like, how are we going to do this? How's this going to happen? So you need to feel like that in your business. You need to feel like, look, I'm taking this risk. I'm getting out there. I am going to blow my own mind and have faith that if you're looking at everything properly, you're and got the support and the help and everything in place, you're on the right path and everything is going to be fine. But you are limitless and you can do whatever you need to put your mind to, you know, yeah, you know what I mean.
Yep.
Yeah. No, that was such a good example. The Charlie and Chocolate Factory. Like
Yeah, that was.
Willy Wonka knows kind of that this is a good thing, that this is happening, and he's relaxed, right? He's there like enjoying it. You need to enjoy your ride because it might be scary sometimes, but just enjoy it, you know?
Yep.
Yeah, and like what Willy Wonka said, he had never pushed that button before. He had never done it before, but because of his faith in himself and his product and what he's doing, he knew everything was going to be fantastic. So he was just along for the ride. So I think
that's so good.
Awesome. Okay, beautiful ladies. Is there anything else you guys would like to add as we wrap up here? Any last words?
I can go on, but
well, I want to say last final ending words is just don't be afraid to fail. Okay, like we're taught from the get-go that failure is bad, but really failure is the only way you are going to grow. Like it's the only way you've grown in the past. And how do you think you're going to learn new lessons and new things if you don't fail first? You are never going to get something right the first try. I mean, hardly ever. So yeah, don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Go for failure, playful out, have your mind set on your goal, and don't let anyone tell you different. What about you, Anna?
Be in the driver's seat. Know where you're going and go. Don't be in the passenger seat. Those people are not good because they don't have the good for you. They're just taking you for a ride. I want to be a driver. I'm always a driver.
Be a driver. Yes.
Yeah, there's actually commercials here in the US that touch on that, being in the driver's seat as opposed to letting everybody else make your decisions. And I think it has to do with voting, but I'm not going to get into that because I will completely go blank, and we're running short on time, so I will just anyway. Thank you so much, Mona, for being here. We so enjoy having you here. It's so awesome to be able to talk to you and pick your brain. And thank you, everybody else, for tuning in today with us on this FLC Hangout.
There's more in here. No.
We hope you found our discussion informative and engaging. If you enjoyed it, be sure to consider subscribing, liking the channel, leaving a comment. Your thoughts and suggestions are so important to us for future topics, and we want to know what you guys want as content. We value your feedback, and we'd love to hear from you. So be sure to hit the like button, share, hit the notification, push this out to any family members, friends. Help us share to everybody in the world, because we're here to help people find their financial freedom and live their freedom lifestyle, right? We want you guys to live the life of your dreams. And the best way for us to do that is to be able to share our knowledge with you. So with that being said, we want to say thank you guys for being here again. Welcome to the FLC family, where when you're family for life. So you're stuck with us, babe. We'll see you guys next time, next Sunday. Be sure to be there. And this Sunday. Oh, you want to be there. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. So you guys keep staying tuned, keep learning, and we'll catch you on the next one. See ya. Bye.
Bye.